Hello, everybody. Hope you're all doing fantastically well. It's Connor here. We are back with another episode, another One Leeds show. We're back here with Leeds United news today. A bit of a new segment that I'm going to be bringing to you guys, just of the general news. What's going on with Leeds United, your feelings on the fixtures, your feelings on the results and all the saga that goes along with this wonderful club that we support. So before we start the video, please make sure you do me a solid, like the video. As always, I can see there's a fair few of you in the building. Please make sure you subscribe to the One Leeds Fan Channel because you won't get any notifications unless you are subscribed. It is free. So please make sure you do so. Alongside that, everybody, we have a Patreon account where we are filming an episode of Across the Pond today, an audio-only podcast where we're answering the Patreon's questions. Make sure you sign up to that if you want some bonus content. We have YouTube memberships, which is open. Shout out to Callum, shout out to Steve, and shout out to Matty, who all became YouTube members in the last stream. £2 per membership. Of course, everybody, we also have a partnership with SofaScore. Make sure you download SofaScore. It's well worth it. All your analytics for absolutely free with the One Leeds affiliate link. No payment required. So hello, one, and hello, all. I had my Sunday off, everybody. My first Sunday in about 4 weeks I've had off. So it was nice. Spent it with my girlfriend. It was lovely. Went for a nice walk and all that sort of good stuff. So let me know what you've done this weekend and let me know how you feel about the Tractor Boys falling off. Let's get into a couple of comments. Morning, Connor. Morning, everyone. Make sure you hit the like. Shout out to you, JC. Hi, Hannah. Hi, Alison. Hope you're all okay. Morning, Connor. Mike's in the building. Look at this. Michael. Look at all the mornings I'm getting. Paul O'Connor's in the building. James in here saying, all Leeds, aren't we? Mark says, the first comment of the video. Hi, Connor, and good morning. Another great weekend after a hard-fought win at Ashton Gate. A quick question. Do we really need a cup run? We'll be getting into that, Mark. Don't you worry. Cup run, says Martin, our question mark. At least it's opportunity to give game time to some of the squad who spend their time warming the bench, just in case they're ever needed, and would love us to turn over Chelsea. Morning, Dale. Hope you're all good. Morning, Matty. You legend. There's a lot of very positive Leeds fans in here this morning. Does everybody have the coffee? Is everybody wide awake? I certainly am. Matty says, all Everton fans seem to want Harrison saying he's an average player with a high work rate. Cash in if we can, I reckon. Harrison did well for us, but for us to progress, we need an upgrade. Somerville. Hey, Rob. Hello, everybody. Bjorn says, I'm looking younger today. Okay. Thank you, Bjorn. Maybe it's the crisp camera. Who knows? But let's get into it, shall we, everybody? As I said, please make sure you like the video. But let's get into the weekend's activities when it comes to Leeds United. Well, as you can see, there's a bit of a beaming smile on my face. Why? Because Leeds United have managed to close the gap, everybody. On Friday night, I was thinking to myself, well, can we do it? Can we do it? Are we realistically going to see Ipswich falter at the hands of Preston North End? Are we going to see Southampton falter at the hands of Rotherham? Will Leicester really muck up against Stoke? Well, 2 of the 3 didn't, but 1/3 of that puzzle did. They did sort of muster a defeat, which is great news for Leeds United. Not great news is obviously Kiefer Morgan on the score sheet, the new signing. Is that going to be sort of a start of things to come when it comes to him at Ipswich Town? A good signing, in my opinion. But they lost the game. And at one point, they were 3-0 down, and Ipswich do what Ipswich do, which is come back for about 20, 25 minutes. And then we normally see every other team in the Championship bottling it. But Preston North End have proved a tough cookie to crack at home, as we very well know. They got the win, and Leeds United have, everybody, closed the gap. We mentioned on this channel about 3 months ago that if one of them is to falter because of quality, because of the calibre of player, it is going to be Ipswich. Listen, systematically, they've been brilliant. They will still be brilliant, but I am still of the opinion that the 3 that have come down will be the 3 that finish in 1, 2, 3. I am so certain of it. And that is just plainly because there is more that we have than the others. The others in the division. It's just, listen, parachute payments, quality, as I've just mentioned previously, it's very, very difficult to other teams, even when they are systematically brilliant, keeping up with that style of that sort of level of football player. So good morning, Connor. You good, mate? I'm all good for Evan Shore White. Hello, everybody. Sean says, morning, Connor. Best Leeds content out there. Always on point with the messages. All Leeds, aren't we? Thank you, my friend. Really, really appreciate that. Morning, Andy. Morning, everybody. Do you feel Archie Gray is going to turn into a CM, or will he stick as a backup right back to Roberts? I'll get into your questions just in a little bit. everybody, 100%. Morning, Connor. Says SJH. Hope you're well, mate. Is the lawsuit with the ransomware attack on the team's 49ers data services? It happened in 2022. It is not, mate. It is not indeed. And we'll get into exactly what it is with the 49ers. But yeah, interesting when it comes to Ipswich. Interesting when it comes to the landscape of the championship right now. Plymouth tomorrow. Let's have a little bit of a touch on Plymouth. So when it comes to the complexion of the cup run, do you want a cup run right now? I don't want an away trip at Plymouth. When I was down at Ellen Road, when Leeds got that sordid 1-1 draw, I wasn't very happy because obviously Leeds 1-0, and it was that complacency thing that creeps into Leeds' performances every now and again. And it happened, didn't it? Leeds United fell to an equaliser in around about the 76th to 80th minute, and you were looking thinking, how on earth have they got back into this? But Leeds do have to go down to Plymouth, probably the furthest away trip we're going to have in the calendar. Well, it will be amongst a list of really, really sort of long journeys. We've just had Bristol, then it's then it's Plymouth, then it's going to be Swansea. It is about 1,500 miles when it comes to travel. So do you really want Leeds United when it comes to fitness, when it comes to sort of an arduous cup run going through? Well, I tell you what, everybody, not only would it benefit Leeds when it comes to just getting through and getting a little bit of a cup run for the first time in how many years, however, it will also contribute sort of to a revenue stream as well. You've got match day tickets, you've got the next round of the FA Cup, which isn't what it once was, but Leeds United would be set to receive around about £1 million if they were able to bypass Plymouth and get that financial boost. And then they are in a conversation of a game between I believe it's Aston Villa and Chelsea, isn't it? I don't know if they've played each other yet, but I think it's between Aston Villa and Chelsea. So listen, the financial gain, the capital for Leeds United is there. And obviously a big cup run and a big game against Villa, who we've had a little bit of a professional rivalry over the past 5 years. And Chelsea, obviously one of Leeds' historical rivals. So would you like Leeds United to progress into the next round of the cup? Or is it a little bit of another game on the calendar where you think, look, we're not going to win it? Is there any point when we can focus on the league, not get injuries, and really bypass the season that way? Let me know what you think. Phil says, rather go up than a cup run. That's sort of where I am, mate. I want us to win, says JC. Hey, Jay. I want us to win as it continues the momentum, and that could be huge in the next few weeks. I also agree with that, and I think that's also why in the first game, Jay, we were all looking at it and thinking, well, do you know what? If Leeds win this, it's going to carry on the home momentum, and it's all about not losing at home. And if Leeds can go a whole season unbeaten at home, if we can go and keep that 0 on our record at home, then wow, not only is that an incredible feat by the club, it's going to give us a massive chance when it comes to automatic promotion, but also is that a record broken by Leeds United with our own historical record, but also in the Championship. It'll be interesting to see. Obviously, every other club has lost at home. Ronnie Kipperin in the building. Yeah, Kaiser says that it's Chelsea and Villa on Wednesday night. Plymouth don't want Rodon, Ampadu, Rutter, Bamford, Firpo, etc. anywhere near that squad. Let fringe some players get some minutes and get beat live on telly tomorrow. Leicester will fall and we'll still win this division. How you, Danny? Hope you're all good, mate. David Brooks looks mega, by the way. If Rutter had his brain, knowing what he was doing before the ball had come, he'd be at the top 4 club. Facts. Yeah, so listen. Morning, Connor. How you, mate? Matty Palmer says, yes, we get through to round 5 in the cup. Give the game time to other players. We win, but the promotion is the main priority. Connor, did I hear correctly from Phil Hay on the square ball? Leeds are flying to games that are a distance from now on, so they get home. Yes, I do believe that is correct, mate. I do believe that is correct. So, but that's good. It's good news. Look, it's not great for the environment, but overall, it is something that Leeds obviously need to be doing when it comes to time efficiency. 1,500 miles, everybody. 1,500 miles. Anyway, let's get into what Jack Harrison said. Hey, so Jack Harrison was speaking after the Everton game against Tottenham the other day, I should say. Obviously, it was a 2-2 draw. Now, I've brought this up on several occasions, really. We've had Everton fans on this channel who I keep in contact with. I'm friends with a fair few decent Everton journalists as well. So you keep on track with what's going on with Leeds and what's going on with Everton. Now, obviously, there's some connections there when it comes to Ben Godfrey. There's obviously a connection there when it comes to Jack Harrison, Willie Gnonto previously when it came to a bit of a transfer saga there. They were interested in Christ Somerville for a fact, but they couldn't get these deals done because of FFP. Now, we know this has been a big problem when it comes to Everton and that financial output. So it all comes back as well to an interesting rivalry, obviously, with regards to Everton's points deducted. Now, according to a very famous sports lawyer who has been speaking to the newspaper, we'll just speak before Jack Harrison here. We'll touch on the little 49ers legal claim here. But apparently the 49ers, obviously, and we know with Burnley and Leicester, they sought compensation. They wanted compensation from Everton for obviously the points deducted. And at this moment in time, Leeds United are in an appeal process because Everton are doing so at this moment in time. A spokesperson for someone just off the committee has also said that Leeds, Leicester and Burnley have definitely met the requirements of what would be a compensation in a legal battle. Very interesting. But as of right now, Everton are appealing that appeal from Leicester, Burnley and Leeds United, and they are going through that due process as of right now. Obviously, we know the 49ers have been in legal battles already when it comes to Leeds United and Jean-Kevin Augustin. They've obviously involved themselves in the legal battle with Everton when it comes to their points deduction and how that could have affected Leeds in the long term. So you do wonder if that's going to play a factor in the Jack Harrison transfer. Are Leeds going to keep on dealing with Everton? Are Everton going to even be able to deal with Leeds United when it comes to long term and putting that money into Leeds United's pockets? But isn't it fascinating how Leeds United right now are going through an appeal process with Everton when it comes to those points deducted, but also they're going to be dealing with Jack Harrison as well with Everton and have dealt with Jack Harrison at Everton. Harrison has then come out and said this weekend that he is extremely happy, I quote, at Everton, and he said he's playing some of the best football of his career. He said the group has welcomed me fantastically and I couldn't have asked for any more with them and the coaching staff, and performance has been great behind the scenes. It's been great to be here and I'm really happy. So listen, for me, it's going to be one of those with Jack where I think we've got much better forwards anyway. Like, look, and that's not bitter lemons. That's not any sort of salt. I think we're all very aware that when it comes to Leeds United and Jack Harrison, he wouldn't get in our front four. He wouldn't. And if you're asking me who would I rather have, Jadon Anthony or Jack Harrison, I'm leaning towards Jadon Anthony. And everybody, that's when we're talking about calibre of winger. When you're asking me who would I rather have, and someone's going to throw statistics at me, I understand that. But in terms of watching a game and the impact on a game and consistency when that person is starting over a period of time, I'm choosing William Yonto as well. Jack Harrison, for me, doesn't get anywhere near, even in the Championship, our starting front four. He doesn't get anywhere near that winger, number 10, anything. All those inverted players, he doesn't get anywhere near. There's an argument that he's fifth, and that's why you were looking in the summer at Everton trying to poach all of our wingers, because they know that we have a Premier League forward line. And that's why we all get a little bit nervous when it comes to the summer months. That's why we always get a little bit nervous and think to ourselves, well, hold on, if we lose these players, what on earth are we going to do? And that is a fair analysis. I understand that completely, because right now, Leeds United's forward line is extremely good for this division. And with the likes of Everton, who are doing okay right now, you look at their forward line when you've got the likes of Dwight McNeil in there, you've got the likes of Jack Harrison in there. You're thinking to yourself, well, winger-wise, Leeds are just superior. So you can understand that right now. But he doesn't get anywhere near it for me. And I don't know what you guys think. They can keep Harrison for 50p. 322 miles, Plymouth from Leeds by car journey is still a long journey. Yeah, I agree with you, mate. Michael Parr, totally agree, pal. It's a huge risk, and I would like to see our team rested. Obviously, this is to do with the FA Cup. Loads of people are getting involved right now. Good morning, Connor. Hey, Rich. Don't care about the FA Cup. Let's hope we rest some players in case they get injured. Yeah, I'm sort of with you there. I love your laptop. Thanks, Mike. Yeah, I'm all good, mate. Good to see you. Chris says nonsense. Harrison would walk into this team. Not Harrison over Nonso right now, but our front four have potential. Jack better than James, better than Anthony, and better than Nonso. Wow. Not for me, Nate. Not for me. No, I'm not. I'm not having that. No way. But it's opinions in football. I understand that. There's no way for me at this moment in time. Listen, we can have a conversation about Jack and James when it comes to ability-wise. But for me, ability-wise, Anthony and Nonto's ceiling is much higher. And I would rather have those two as options in the Premier League. Mr. Hot and Cold Harrison, Mr. Inconsistent, as he is still being at Everton. I understand he's in the Premier League, but he was still hot and cold for Leeds when we're in the Championship. Not for me. Nah. It's interesting actually, because he always fit in. Harrison for me always fit a little bit into the Perot mould a little bit. Statistics wise, he'd get on the score sheet, and when it was going really well for Leeds, I thought Harrison was good. He was very good at points as well. But I always say this with Joe Pro as well, and a lot of you deem this as harsh, and I understand that, but it's really not, because I still rate Joe Pro as a brilliant footballer at this level, and I think systematically he could definitely fit into something if Farke was a little bit more pragmatic with his starting 11. If he was to go to a 4-3-3, let's say, I think Joe Pro would fit into that starting lineup very well. I think that'd work a 3-4-2-1 perfect, as he played at Swansea. But systematically, right now, he doesn't fit in. And that's why I look at him. And when his performances are as they are for Leeds United, I do see him as a little bit of a luxury player. Jack Harrison for Leeds was a little bit more industrious, was a little bit more gritty. But I did see him as a little bit of a luxury player. When it was going well for Leeds United, I thought he was, he stepped up. But I thought when the backs were against the wall, I didn't think he was able to do it as much. And that's why I always consistently called him Hot and Cold Harrison, because he was hot one minute and he was cold the other. I'm a little bit with you, Mark, and that's why I look at them ability-wise, really. Harrison is much like James, works very hard and helps the defence out. So when we're talking about ability-wise, when we're talking about technicalities, I don't think he's anywhere near some of the wingers we have, to be honest with you. And I think a lot of that is based really on the hysteria that happened with Jack with Bielsa. I think those tendencies still stayed, that he was very, very inconsistent. But it's opinions, isn't it? So for me, I would be more than happy to sell Jack Harrison, especially if we're in the Premier League. We'll get back to the Premier League. He's not getting in our forward line at all. I think Leeds recognise that as well. It's all positive for Leeds in that respect. Obviously, this morning as well, everybody, we'll just get into a couple more of your comments. Will Cine sign permanent, mate? I think he will. And we'll get into this actually, Michael. There is a lot of rumours at this moment in time when it comes to Sinisterra that he will be moving to Bournemouth for a very decent fee. Now, rumours of this started circulating around about sort of Friday, Saturday morning when I first started seeing them, that Luis Sinisterra is going to be made a permanent signing at Bournemouth. Apparently he's on 60 grand a week at this moment in time. And I think Bournemouth are covering a little bit of that as well. But obviously Leeds United are going to be potentially, obviously, even when we come back to the Premier League, is he going to be wanting to be at sort of like a higher pinnacle, which could be Bournemouth under Iraola right now. They're playing really, really well. But even if Leeds weren't to get to the Premier League and it's going to be in the Championship, it's going to be a cut fee for United. But also they're going to, obviously let him go if Leeds stay in this division, which hopefully, touch wood, we don't. But yeah, there is that option right now. And apparently behind the scenes, the Cherries are looking and talking with Leeds United about making this a permanent fixture, him going down there and being a permanent signing. Iriola's been very impressed with him. And apparently this is going to be one of those things that gets done pretty quickly in the summer. So obviously you're probably expecting Jadon Anthony to go back to Bournemouth with the amount of minutes he's getting at Leeds United. But Sinisterra, as just a one-off transfer, being a permanent signing, is going to be good. And this is why, everybody, I'm not too upset with it. I think there's going to be a huge churn with Leeds United if we were to remain in the Championship. I'm not saying we are, but if we were to remain in the Championship. But I think the assets that we sell, the money that we would bring in, and the fact that we're still in the second year of our parachute payments, and the players I still think we would keep, I think we'd keep sort of your Ampadus, your Kamaras and co. And listen, I think there is a good foundation there. There's a good bedrock. That's worst case scenario. Best case scenario is we go up to the Premier League, we buy a host of players and we sell some of the players that we're not going to feature in this Leeds United side anyway. A la Sinisterra, Jack Harrison, Mark Rocker, Brendan Aronson, and Leeds are able to get good capital for these players. That's a good scenario. I'm an NFL fan. Hey, Rob. And just wondering if Leeds fans will be watching the Super Bowl, 49ers versus Kansas City Chiefs. We definitely will, mate, or I will. I don't know about anyone else. But yeah, we'll wait. I do like my NFL. We have a great forward line. However, scoring has to be better. We have to take chances. In Prem, players might get 1 or 2 chances. Players might lot to prove yet, says Mark. Yeah, Mark, you're not wrong. You're not wrong at all there, mate. I think the standard of someone like Luis Sinisterra, there's a lot of Leeds fans, understandably so, have questioned, obviously, Sinisterra coming back into his side. I mean, when we were doing the rumour mill, there was maybe rumours about him going back to Bournemouth and then Jadon Anthony obviously coming this way. And maybe there was going to be a breakdown in that transfer because Anthony wasn't getting as many minutes and City wasn't getting as many minutes there. We're all having a real good group discussion. And overall, we got to the sort of like the point, the final synopsis, that Luis Sinisterra is a next level player. Hence why Bournemouth want to make this permanent, even though he's barely played any minutes. They've seen enough there to really get him done and sign that deal. And I think that's the difference with Sinisterra right now. He's got a little bit more experience. He's a little bit older. And if you were to blend him in and around a Crysencio, Somerville and a Rutter and all this sort of stuff, which obviously you wouldn't be able to do now, but if you were able to blend him in, as we saw in the start of the season, he's that next level up when it comes to composure, when it comes to ruthlessness that I think Leeds do miss on occasion. The game the other night, it should have been 5-6-0, and you have to feel that next Premier League calibre player, someone of the likes of Luis Sinisterra, would have just killed them off. He would have just absolutely killed them off. So that's the next level, I guess, everybody, and that's what we're sort of hoping for at some point. Mark says, I've never ever heard players going out on loan ever say they are not enjoying it and want to go back to the parent clubs. Yeah, you're right, mate. You're completely right with that. It's just very interesting that it's almost he's sort of very, very happy there, and it's some of the best football he's played in his career. He's not saying it, of course he's not. We are paraphrasing here when it comes to so we're not paraphrasing, we're reading between the lines here, which we do as football fans, but we're looking at it and thinking, okay, let's be brutally honest, this transfer is probably going to get done at some point. But the interesting thing is, it's the legal battle now with the 49ers, the money which is going to have to be exchanged at some point for Jack Harrison. Can Everton even afford to get that done? But the beauty is Jack Harrison is sort of proving himself in the Premier League now. He's getting a lot of minutes. He does work in a Dyche system. However, if he isn't to get a permanent transfer there, he's putting himself on the map. He's building that portfolio for another Premier League club, a Crystal Palace or West Ham United, to come in and say to Leeds United, look, we'll pay 25 million quid for him. How about that? So we'll have to wait and see. Matt J, needs to be more ruthless in front of goal, so less stress in the last 10 minutes of games when close. I agree with you, mate. Mike says, although Bournemouth did us a favour, taking Tyler Adams, the hospital patient, off our wage bill. Yeah, you bet, mate. Don't want them back, says Robert. Jump ship. If we do get promotion this season, we lose Cree, Rutter, Rodon, Ampadu, Archer even. I think that's realistic, Dom. I don't think you're wrong there, and I think all Leeds fans know that. I think that's why there is a little bit of a thumb and a bit of pressure at this moment in time, because I think we all know that. I don't think Ampadu, but yeah, the probably the other 4 there are likely to be leaving the club. I think that's pretty realistic, to be quite honest with you. Connor, do City have a sell on for Harrison? They don't, mate. No. Sorry if this has been covered already. Just join. What's your thoughts on Plymouth game? Prefer to win or go out? I'd love a cup run. I want us to win and get scum away. I think, to be honest, mate, I think it is just that the issue with Leeds at the minute is just the amount of games and you wanting us to get promoted. We all want us to get promoted. We all want that next level. Listen, I want a cup run, but we're having this chat, me and Brownie, the other day. It always feels that Leeds are either in a relegation battle or a promotion battle. And, significantly, we need to start getting out of that headspace, don't we? We need to start getting out of that headspace that is going to be a promotion and a relegation, because that's when you actually get involved in a cup run. When can you be perfectly in a cup run? Well, I guess when you finish 9th with Marcelo Bielsa, a cup run would have been nice, but I believe that was the season when we lost 3-0 to Crawley. So, you kind of want to be in the Premier League if we're going to be completely fantasy ridden at this moment in time, want to be in the Premier League, and we want to sort of be mid-table, and then we can start to really, really get involved in a cup run. That's what I'd like. Again, let's get involved in a cup run when things are a little bit dandy and fine. At this moment in time, I'm still stress-ridden. You are still stress-ridden because Leeds United are on the precipice of getting promoted. So that's sort of where I'm at with it. people talking about Harrison. Harrison only performed once in every 5 to 6 games. No consistency. We don't need him, and I think that's right. And listen, this isn't a Jack Harrison bashing, but I think we hear from his comments. Normally, when a player is at a club and they're not having a great time, there's no comments whatsoever. But Jack Harrison's always coming out on Everton TV. You see it on sort of Toffee's TV, their fan channel, when they're talking about him a lot, and sort of a few quotes here and there. When it comes to Jack, he's just evidently very, very happy there. He plays well in the Dyche system. He's not always on the left, he's on the right. He's playing a few different positions, as we've just mentioned, and he's clearly thriving a little bit at Everton. It's a change of scenery. He was at Leeds for 5 years. He feels home there. He's also near to home, isn't he? He's a Manchester boy. So listen, we all know that's not an unlikely move to happen here. But I think Harrison's okay, but as quite rightly said there, it was one in every 5-6 games, and I think it was just with Jack. He got us up. He was part of the Bielsa side. His stats were pretty decent as well. But I always said with Jack, and it was very unpopular, but he was a cluster player. He'd cluster goals and he'd cluster assists, and then there would be points where for 9-10 games we wouldn't see him, but he would always get that sort of, it's all right, it's Jack Harrison, because he performed well under Bielsa and he was part of that cohort, which we all loved. But Jack Harrison, really, when you have a look at it and you have a look at his career, it's clusters. It's clusters of goals, clusters of assists, and then it's breaks. And he's having a break, really, at this moment in time when it comes to Everton. And that's what they're highlighting as well. So I think ability-wise, look at Jack as well, everyone. He's 20. He's going to be 28 next year. All of our forward line are young players. They're young players with so much potential. How much more potential has Jack Harrison got to reach, really? I don't think that the ceiling is too high at this moment in time. Is he a Stoke lad, Andy? I thought he was a Manchester lad. You could be right, mate. You could be right. I know he was part of the Man United setup and then the City setup. So, yeah, you could be right. Cup run could work both ways, says Mark. Yeah, you're right. Jack was streaky, but most players are outside the top 6. Yeah, but to be honest, Dan Dobb, it wasn't just the Premier League where he was streaky, mate. It was the Championship as well. It really was. He's been streaky his whole career. So that's what you get with him. It's all right saying, when he's in the Premier League, suddenly he's streaky. He was streaky for Leeds in the Championship, if we're being honest. As I say, really hard worker. Got back, defended really, really well. Got the odd assist, got the odd wonder goal he did. We all remember the Newcastle goal and so many others. But I always felt he was a bit of a luxury player, and I don't think in that forward line when you've got Rutter in there and Somerville in there and James right now in there, you've got many luxury players. And I know it's different contexts, but Dan James has got 11 goals. 11 goals by January. It was a worse team when Jack was playing. Of course it was, but I guess there's more context to be applied. That maybe it was a little bit more expansive. Maybe we were playing better football under Bielsa. I know the player wasn't as good as what we have now, but it probably fed into Jack Harrison's attributes a little bit more playing under Bielsa than it would have done under Farke. So it works both ways, really. There's a lot of context that can be applied either way. But Jack Harrison, when you got Dan James, who's got 11 goals by January, that obviously never happened with Jack in the Championship. And I understand once again, context applied. There's a lot of context, but with what Dan James is doing at the minute, you wouldn't be able to take Dan out, even if we're probably to go to the Premier League. Nonto is probably going to be signing a new contract at some point. So listen, it's all good with Leeds. It's a nice conversation to have, isn't it? Leeds have got good options right now. Jamie Shackleton is another one. Let's have a conversation about it. Jamie Shackleton looks like he's going to be offered a new contract by Leeds. Now, I want to get your opinion on this, everybody. I saw this over the weekend. It's a belief that Daniel Farke, can you believe Jamie Shackleton's 24 as well, everybody? God, where is the time gone? Obviously, he's not made a league start since the 4-1 win against Huddersfield. He's made 13 appearances in all competitions. This is on SofaScore, everybody, as well. Download the link in the description. You can see momentum bars. You can see player performances, percentages. It's well worth it. Free download with Leeds, with one Leeds link below. But apparently they are set to give him a new contract. Now, for me, maybe it's a case that Leeds want to get the best value for Jamie Shackleton. I understand that completely. But from a playing perspective, you're probably looking at it and thinking, well, he's miles off it. He's absolutely miles off it. So I think the extent of the contract, what's in there, how many years it's going to be. Obviously, if Leeds were to give him a 4-year contract and pretty much sort him out for the rest of his career, I'd be a little bit like, why? But, maybe he's fallen on luck there. But he's never a starter for Leeds. He's rotation-wise, he's still further down the pecking order. And for me, he ain't good enough. He ain't going to be good, nowhere near good enough in the Premier League. He wasn't last time. He wasn't anywhere near it in the Premier League last time. We loaned him out to a Championship club. He's not going to be anywhere near it when we're in the Premier League. So for me, at this moment in time, what Leeds are doing is probably trying to harness the most money for Jamie Shackleton, which I don't mind. I think it's probably a smart business decision. Obviously, as long as they sort of look at the wages and maybe keep them at a relative level, and the contract length, I think they've got to keep it at a decent level as well. But yeah, for me, it's not really an option I would be exercising. But as of right now, if they are to just exercise a little that to get a little bit more money, I understand that as well. David Gray says not even good for the Championship. Luke says, all right, I always arrive late. Make sure you hit the replay, of course, buddy. The other day when talking about your phrases, you forgot your personal favourite, guile. I do love guile, mate. Innovativeness, creativity, guile. Love those words. He's a utility player. I think that's all he's got going for him. Really like Shaq, says Phil. However, he's not good enough at this level, and certainly not a Premier League player. Jamie's a journeyman, nearly, but not quite there yet. Hi, Connor. Just smash a like for you, bro. At work, just joined. Hi, Gary. Hope you're all good. Guys, as well, just will you do us a favour? Just scroll down the video and press a big like, if you would. There's nearly 800 of you in the building. Hit the likes, completely free. Make sure you subscribe as well. It means that you get notified for these, which are going to be every single morning, your Leeds News Dailies. Listen, we're going to be doing a little bit of an ecosystem video. I can see Andrew Fonaris comment there on Rocker and Aronson. We're going to be doing these very, very soon when it comes to the ecosystem at Leeds United, the loan, just the overall perspective that is Leeds United right now, and what we could be looking at when it comes to the financial picture. But listen, everyone, that is going to be it. We're going to be back tomorrow night with all of your content. We might even be back late this evening with a little bit of a debrief. So stay on tune for that one. I think we are probably going to do one tonight. So make sure you stay tuned for that one. It's going to be myself, Oscar, and Gabe with us roster. But yeah, everyone, thank you so much for joining. Please make sure you like the video as always. If you want some bonus content, we're about to film a podcast on the Patreon right now, £4 a month, 4 extra episodes a week. Make sure you join the YouTube memberships if you just want to pay £2 a month. There is a donation option. Shout out to Martin, who sent us one as well in the last video. And guys, it's been an absolute pleasure as always. This has been Connor. This has been One Leeds. We'll see you later on. Ciao.